If you pre-purchase the deluxe edition, you get, as you guys can see here, 72 hours early access to the game. But there is a massive catch here, alright? What is the problem? The problem comes to the localization of this specific thing we have right here. For example, and this is why we have Twitter right here, on Monday, technically, Monday midnight towards Tuesday, this will mean that you have crossed onto the 7th of February, which means that if you play on PlayStation 5 or if you play on Xbox Series X, you can play this game on Monday night, as long as it's after 12 o'clock at night. Unfortunately, this does not carry over to the PC port. Allow me to explain to you guys what we see right here. Globally, PC players, 72-hour early access will begin on February 7th at this specific time, which is 6 o'clock London time, 6 o'clock UTC for my European brothers in arms. That means 8 o'clock Greece time. So, technically, it's not just that it is the 7th, it's the 7th of Tuesday during the evening. It depends where you live, alright? Now, mind you, if you have terrible internet, that could also mean that you have to load the game, to download the game. But can I preload the game? And this is unfortunately a no, alright? There is no preloading, meaning if you go to Steam right now and pre-purchase the game, you will not be allowed to preload the game. This is confirmed to us, 3rd of February. This happened yesterday. This is a tweet from yesterday, alright? And they tell us that you cannot. So, if you combine everything together, Tuesday, you're on PC, for example, you have to go in 6 o'clock GMT, that's London time, and onwards. At the same time, you have to download the game of 85 gigs, alright? That is confirmed, that's how big the game is. So if your internet is terrible, you might as well not bother pre-purchasing the game, waiting for a physical copy, and go get it at the 10th of February, alright? Big man, big streams, big GP, thank you for the comment, my friend. So be very, very cautious. Alright, depending on internet, depending what you game on. At the same time, this is not just it, alright? We have more situations. You can't preload the game, but there is more, alright? There are some PlayStation exclusives and some console exclusive benefits, alright? Now, the PlayStation exclusive benefits are, as you guys can see here, the Felix Felicis potion recipe. Felix Felicis, for you non-Harry Potter fans or non-Wizarding World fans, is the potion that gives you luck. I don't remember the movie exactly. I think it was The Prisoner of Azkaban or The Goblet of Fire, where Harry Potter just drank some Felix Felicis and he went out there and he was a pretty lucky fellow. It is forbidden technically, it's against the rules of Hogwarts. It was at that time, I don't know if it is in the game we're playing right now, but unfortunately we do not get access on this potion recipe no matter what we do as PC gamers. So right now, I'm not saying that this is a make or break situation, I'm just letting you know what you have and what you don't have. Pre-order exclusive, you will get your Hippogriff, 72 hours early access, as we said, has a small catch. Now, let's get to the other thing, because if you notice on my tabs, I have Steam, I have PlayStation, and I have Xbox, all three tabs open, because I need to give you guys a detailed explanation about the price tag and the differences, alright? Haunting Hogsmeade's shop quest, you don't get this anywhere if you're not playing on PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4 when the game releases as a legacy game on PS4, which is, don't mind the sound, if there was a loud meowing right now, it was my cat. Nothing bad happened. It was just an attack that did not even happen. Anywho, moving besides the cat attack, the Hogsmeade shop quest is something that you will be able to get on PlayStation 5 or on PlayStation 4 on April, as I said, which is when the legacy stream starts. You don't have access to that on Xbox or on PC. At least that's what we know up until now. You see, PlayStation, Sony has an exclusive with Hogwarts Legacy with the game. A partial exclusive, I don't know exactly how the details work, but that means that after 1 year, it's possible, if not likely, that you will get this shop quest right here on PC or on Xbox for, I'm guessing, X amount of money. At the same time, you get an access to your Dark Garrison hat. Now, why do I have this thing right here? Because if you click, immediately you will be directed to 3 different shops. We will ignore PlayStation 4, we will ignore Xbox One because these are the legacy systems, they come out on April. We will ignore Nintendo Switch, this comes out on June or July. I think it's July, but don't quote me on this. We have PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and PC, which is exactly the tags we have now here. Now, mind you that if you order on PC, you get the box of 70 euros in your digital deluxe edition. So you can pre-order, you cannot preload, you just have to get it on. You just get the game on 6 o'clock p.m., 1800 military time, London, you download it, and then you can play it. So you pretty much download this on Tuesday, and I guess you can play on Wednesday, right? 8th of February. This does not apply on console gamers who get a public release on the 7th, as I said, on Monday night. At the same time, if I recall correctly, you can pre-download the game on consoles, but don't quote me on this, I don't want to make stuff up, so yeah, take this with a grain of salt. At the same time, Xbox gets the same price tag as a PlayStation 5. What do I mean now? The PlayStation 5 price tag is 85 euros. You guys can see that it is more expensive than the computer. I'm guessing that this difference right here has to do with PlayStation getting extra stuff, clearly. However, what I could not understand is why Xbox has the exact same price tag for less stuff. Allow me to elaborate. You see, PlayStation does get Haunted Hogsmeade Shop Quest, which is an in-game questline. It has its own dungeon, and it will give you an area in which you can sell your shit, alright? But this whole ordeal is something that the PlayStation only has. What does Xbox Series X have? Nothing else, alright? You're like the PC port, with the difference being that you are able to play on Monday night and not on Wednesday with others. Console gamers are always more expensive than PC games to offset the cheaper price of the console itself. I don't know if that is the case. I cannot tell you if this is the case always. I can only speak about this game specifically. What doesn't make sense to me, for example, is how PlayStation 5 has the same price tag as an Xbox, but they have extra stuff. So if anyone goes out there and tell you, oh, you know what, we're being charged the same, we're not being charged the same, PC port is cheaper, alright? But be very, very, very mindful that to read these details of what you get and what you don't get. The positive things is that you can get a Dark Arts part with the Threshold Mount and the Dark Arts cosmetic set and the Dark Arts Battle Arena, as you can see here, in all three versions of the game. And now let's go into the lore situation with Hogwarts Legacy. Maybe you're a lore nerd such as myself when it comes to Wizards, when it comes to game in general. I love my lore. I love nerding out. This is what we are here. We're nerds and we talk about how we can become even more of nerds. Does Hogwarts Legacy have a morality system? Before we answer that question, which is bluntly on screen really, I need to tell you guys that you can be a dark mage or a dark wizard or a dark witch in this game. Now, what does this mean? There are 3 unforgivable curses: Crucio, Imperio, and Avada Kedavra. The Cruciatus curse, torture someone; the mind control one; and of course, the lethal attack. So technically, you can be a dark mage, but not really, because it doesn't have a morality system. Meaning, and I quote, but players will encounter various quests and storylines which will influence the wizard or wizard they choose to become. Mind you, it does have different endings. Mind you, NPCs will behave to you differently, but they will behave to you differently based on how you treated them. For example, if Bobby has a quest, and you go and you see Bobby having a quest, and Bobby asks for help, but you ignore Bobby and you proceed with your MSQ, within quotes, right? And you find Bobby down the line, later part in the MSQ, he's like, you know what, you didn't help me, screw you. He's going to address that part. This is a theory that I have in mind, but it's pretty much how it works. Whereas if you did help Bobby, or Timmy, or Jenny, or whoever, they will be more warm and open towards yourself. This is how we know that the game has different endings. This is how we know that this is what it says when it comes to, being treated differently. Unfortunately, even though there will be made some remarks about you using Avada Kedavra left and right and murdering people, there is no morality system. Now, why can this be important for some nerds out there? Avada Kedavra, the lethal spell, the fatal curse, for example, the curse of death, it's supposed to be so horrendous in its act that it shatters the soul of the individual into pieces. Like it actually affects your inner core. It makes your soul from a vibrant light way, if we go for in Final Fantasy XIV standards, into more dark, you know? Well, think of it like the difference between the Ancients and the Ascients, my dear FF nerds out there, right? At the same time, this same can be said, or something equal can be said about the Cruciatus Curse, which is the torturing spell, or the Imperial spell, which is mind controlling. You see, Azkaban has these shady guys, Dementors. I have been trying to remember this word for days, believe it or not. Dementors. Hogwarts does not really, I don't know, Hogwarts actually does not allow Dementors inside, but Azkaban does have its Dementors. Dementors will immediately go and feast or punish any wizard that will use the 3 unforgivable spells, which is why they're called unforgivable. You are beyond redemption if you use any of the 3 spells. So you do what you want from this. I don't think it is very, very well thought, personally, when it comes to the morality system. But we also have another situation with the lore. Now, I don't know if you guys know about the lore of the spells. I will give you guys a specific example. Expelliarmus spell. It is to disarm your opponent. Now, J.K. Rowling indirectly retconned the effect of that spell many, many times. For example, it started from a simple disarm to a disarm, and then the wand flows to the guy that disarmed the other wizard, you know? Or at the later part of the videos, at the later part of the movies, of the books, it turns out that Expelliarmus is a very, very powerful spell that not only does it disarm your opponent, but the wand of your opponent now belongs to you. So if I disarm you with Expelliarmus, your wand is now mine. It's no longer yours. So technically, it will not obey your every command to its maximum. I don't know how wands do that. I don't know how sapient they are. We know that the wand chooses the wizard. That's what Ollivander said in the very first movie, and that's what the canon we know is. But here's my problem with Expelliarmus. In this game, it's being tossed left and right as if it's just a normal spell. I watched some gameplay footage of Hogwarts Legacy, and unfortunately I can tell you that Expelliarmus does not even disarm the opponent. If it has a bow, if it has a wand, you do not take that. It's been the case in every Harry Potter game. What has exactly? In my case about the disarming? Unfortunately, here it's... or do you mean that the Expelliarmus does not disarm your opponent? I wouldn't know. This is my very first Harry Potter game that I play. Gotta hate the shop always buffering. I'm sorry, what can I say, right? At the same, Expelliarmus being used as a damaging spell. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. It's a disarming spell, that's what it does. Stupefy could be used as a damaging spell. We have other references that I remember in Greek, but not in English right now. But hey, there are spells that you can use at damage. No, Expelliarmus is not one of them. Furthermore, we have another situation when it comes to the lore of the game. Some people have had an issue with the red sparks coming out of the wand and saying, what is my wand casting? Like, you know, the auto attack pretty much. Now, the auto attack of this game makes sense to be red sparks. Let us not forget that in the very first movie, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, when Harry Potter went to Ollivander and he took his wand, Ollivander told him, give it a flick. He very much did give it a flick, and some stuff was just thrown around, an explosion happened. So it makes sense for the wizard to be able to perform wizardry even without actually using a verbal spell, you know? This also has happened in the duel between Dumbledore and Voldemort, in the Ministry of Magic, and so on and so forth. Before Rowling also didn't have that logic in the books. Yes, we do have some lore gaps there, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not going to pretend that the Harry Potter legacy or the Harry Potter franchise is written majestically. No, I believe it has This is beyond that though. Like we're not here for me to talk about my opinion about what I think about how well written the books are. I'm just here to convey you guys the information that you have, alright? So it makes sense to just be spewing sparks left and right. Happened in the movies, happened in the books. It is what it is. Something else that might be getting you off, if this is something that you don't particularly enjoy, is how old your character is, alright? Now, your character will be in your 5th year in Hogwarts. That means you are roughly 15 years old. If you're uncomfortable with playing as an underage character, maybe the game is not for you, maybe you shouldn't give it a go. Keep in mind that after taking this into consideration, personally, I am very skeptical because the game, if I can find it very quickly here, probably not, right? The game does mention that it has mature language. Is it here? Yes. In-game purchases, language, and violence, alright? So just keep this thing in mind. Hopefully, I wish to believe that there is no romance between characters. Let's not get into this weird parallel. You're playing an underage guy, you're playing a teenager, you're a kid, alright? So yeah, moving that aside, just letting you guys know of all the things that we know today. As for the spell lore, I did mention to cover this, and so on and so forth. If you have more questions about the game, make sure to go out into the website, the official website, and check out the FAQs. There is a lot of information over there. Do what you will, alright? Do what you will. At the same time, know that if you get your account, you can go right here. You can, for example, connect now. If you click on your connect now, it will give you the ability to log in. If you cannot log in, you will make your own account. You create an account. You will get sorted. You can discover your wand and you can get sorted. What does get sorted means? It means that the choice hat, will tell you exactly in which house you belong. But by no means is this forced on you. So you can do these things before the game comes live. Happens and you can play it, and when you log into the game finally, you will be able to have these things pre-sorted. If you want to have an advantage over other players, how would you have an advantage when the game is fully single player? There is zero internet play. And I think that would be all, really. Like, this is the before you buy video that I have for you. I will definitely upload this on YouTube, so if you're watching there, like, dislike, give me your criticism of the game, give me your opinion, give me your questions. I will do my best to answer them. I will do my best to address it, you know? And yeah, thank you for watching.